Hi, I'm Kelley Hansen with Cider House Foods in Mount Dennison Orchards, and we are an apple farm, a bakery, a vacation rental spot in the mountains, so people can kind of have a farm tour, an apple experience. And it's here in Springville, California, and this is where I was born and raised, what I would call home, even though I was raised in the mountains in tents and trailers around the logging industry, and we migrated with the cells. This is where we called home and what we came back to when school started. Around me, I have the things that are really important to me that kind of define me. I have my home, which took me a year and a half to build with my own two hands. It does not come easy. I cleared the land with babies on my back in the pack and play with chainsaws, brought in my own loads of DG while my husband was at work. I was trying to help save our family money by being a stay at home mom and homeschooling. And behind me is my little greenhouse that we built. And up here, this is Mount Dennison Orchards. This recording doesn't do it any justice. It's a massive rock face, beautiful mountain. And that's what our orchards are named after, is Mount Dennison Orchard. I wanted to be a hermit and live in the mountains by myself as a profession. I don't know how that's possible. And I wanted to be a veterinarian where I just took care of animals. What's unique about our farming operation is we're taking something old and trying to bring life back to it. We purchased an apple orchard that has been around since the early 1900s, which led to me trying to preserve heirloom varieties and apple varieties that are in these mountains that haven't relied on human hands or an abundance of water. They're surviving without anyone really touching them all year, and they're sprinkled throughout all these mountains where settlers originally had settled in the 1800s, like when they were harvesting the giant sequoias, the redwoods in this area, and logging industry, ranching industry. People settled and they usually planted apple orchards because they could thrive here and do well with the climate. um, and and we have this special little area. You can even see it on like planning maps that this has got its own little weather system or its own little zoning where we can actually grow apple varieties that other people in the valley can't necessarily. So what's special about this area is you'll see pictures on our webpage that show me like hugging 100-year-old trees that survived the fires that we've had here in the Sierra Nevadas, and they are apple trees that were graftings that were actually farmed, harvested by the settlers, and they're still alive today. And so I've been harvesting and grafting and leaving a portion of our property specifically for that project, for the lost apple varieties, and the apple varieties that are hardy, that will survive all the climate change that we're experiencing here in California. When you're working with old established orchards, you have to be careful not to overwater. You can kill them in one season. You can kill everything. If you prune it back too harshly, you'll kill it. Um, they've been able to thrive and make it, like I said earlier, without any type of human hands and interaction. So you have to be really careful. Modern farming, you're given an instruction manual for anything. There are so many resources, from how much to water, what kind of soil you have. You send in a sample and they tell you what variety to get. I mean, everything's pretty much laid out for you. So when you mess with these trees that are over 100 years old, you have to be real careful. With all of our apples, we make our apple butter, we make our apple cider syrup. Like, nothing goes to waste. It goes into our apple granola. And then we have a local apiary business that puts their boxes up here. And we also have our own apple honey, mountain honey, that we can provide for people. And you just love to have something that you can share that's made here. It's that, a lot of people like to talk about farm to table concept, but it's one thing when you actually do it. And when we don't have apples on, or we don't have, product that we're making, we have the bakery side of things, which of course, giving people apple pies this time of year, or apple cider donuts, anything. I mean, these are the things you're proud of. It's something you've made. That little kid feeling you get, in school when you're, look what I did, never really goes away. I absolutely love hiking. Nature heals me. I think that's why I've always been drawn to mountains or oceans. Um, to just be outside. I love to go out early mornings before the rest of the world wakes up, which is awesome because that works with farming, getting up that early. Um, Anything with my children, fishing, um, just being outdoors. Perseverance. When you don't feel like doing something or completing something, that ugly term paper, that whatever that assignment is that you want to run from, that's the theme of your entire life. There are days you don't want to get in bed. There are emails you don't want to answer. There are customers you don't want to deal with. And that's not an option when you want to be successful. You can't ignore the responsibilities that are in front of you. So if anything, school teaches you to be consistent and stay on task, how to focus and accomplish and complete your goals, and a timely manner too. So it's school is good for training yourself. Are you kidding? Did you see that? I had a hummingbird right here. Of course, it was all. I was all stop.